1.2 The movements of the sun. The Quran refers to the movements of the sun in several verses, which were contrary to the popular ideas at the time of revelation, and those movements have been recorded today. Some commentators have used the verse to refer to the direct transitive movement of the sun within the Milky Way galaxy, i.e. the longitudinal movement of the sun towards a specific direction or a distant star. In this interpretation, means towards and is the name of a place. And many commentators and scholars have interpreted it from the Quran. And some consider it a scientific miracle of the Quran. The same verse also refers to the positional movement of the sun, i.e. the sun revolves around itself in a specific position. This interpretation is based on the fact that means phi. Nuclear explosions constantly occur inside the sun to produce energy, light and heat. These explosions cause molten material inside the sun to move, sometimes throwing it up to kilometers. Perhaps the term tajri in verse 38 Yasin, which means to flow and is different from move, can be used to indicate that the sun not only moves, but also flows, that is, it moves up and down like water. This interpretation of the verse, which is also confirmed by scientific discoveries, can be considered one of the scientific miracles of the Quran. However, it should be noted that although the Quran's references to the movements of the sun are a kind of scientific mystery, however, in the part previously reported from the Holy Bible, namely the circular transitive motion of the sun, it is not a scientific miracle and only in the parts that are stated contrary to the Ptolemaic view prevalent at the time of revelation, such as direct transitive motion, positional motion, motion until a certain time, and the internal motion of the sun, if it is determined, it is a scientific miracle of the Quran. Also, the verse, in a sphere they glorify, is used to refer to the rotational movement of the sun along with the solar system, that is, the rotational movement of the sun in its orbit around a specific star or around the center of the galaxy or along with the Milky Way galaxy that rotates around itself. Because sphere refers to the path of the celestial spheres, or their rotational path. Of course, this Quranic statement, the movement of the sun in an orbit, is contrary to the view of the Ptolemaic theory, which was prevalent in scientific circles during the era of revelation and had cast a shadow on human thought for 17 centuries. According to the old theory, the heavens move and the stars are fixed in the sky, but the verse uses the idea that the sun has a rotational movement and floats in an orbit. The verse, everything continues for an appointed time, is also used to indicate that the life of the sun lasts for a certain period of time. This verse is adapted to the scientific theory that the sun will end its life in a few billion years due to nuclear explosions and the burning of its internal materials.